Guys, we are live, and I can tell people are ready to get the party started because we already have people. Before we even go live, it's a good sign when you got some of your most dedicated, awesome online students ready to roll before it goes. We already have people saying hello before we've gone live. Look at that one too. Jeff, look at that guy. He's got the big racket. He is pumped. Joe is pumped. We are pumped. And I'm excited for this because this, first of all, he's not a local legend. This is Jeff Greenwald right here. He's one of the best players over 50 in the world. He is leading sports psychologist. He deals with all sports, but he specializes in tennis. And I used to coach out in San Jose for a long time. And Jeff was, he's a worldwide legend and a local legend too, because we all knew Jeff. We're like, man, this dude is awesome. And he almost got into the SAP Open, which is a professional tournament. Agassi played it. Sampras played it. Big Leighton Hewitt played it. Roddick played it. And he was playing Scott Draper. We were just talking about it because I'm like, who was that guy you almost had? He had him 5-3 in the third set. Guy was 60 in the world at the time. Jeff was 37. That's the dude that's on tonight's call. Jeff, it's an honor to have you here.
Great to be here with you, Pete, and everybody. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, that match. Hewitt, by the way, Hewitt was on the side watching. He was I think Hewitt, he was number 1 or 2 in the world at the time. And he was right there on the side. He came in with a bunch of guys watching me play that. Yeah.
So Hewitt was watching you play that. And was this at the Courtside Club? Is that where you played it?
Yeah, Courtside. Yeah.
Beautiful club. Okay, tonight we're gonna talk about your mental game and your mental thoughts, which is on challenge, it's on match. But one thing I like to start the live streams with is I like to do music trivia. It started with Maribon. He doesn't even know who Prince is. He doesn't know who Billy Joel. Doesn't know the Eagles. Doesn't know anybody. He fails every time. Gigi Fernandez nailed the Police. Got it. Okay. Will Hamilton doesn't know who CCR is. No idea. I thought Jorge would know. He did not know Jimi Hendrix All Along the Watchtower. So you've got a test tonight. You should know this. If you don't know this,
yeah.
Are you ready?
Sure, go after it.
Here it goes. What is this song? You don't know it?
I should know it, but
that was Revolution by the Beatles.
Beatles, so bad. My kids would just they think I don't have a brain anymore. Getting too old. I don't know, but yeah, my memory is terrible. So
well, here's what I'm gonna give people credit. Yeah, okay. Joe knew it was Revolution. So here's the thing. Here's why Jeff doesn't know. And this is why all our tennis people don't really have much music knowledge because they're so into tennis. That's what they know. And that's why we have them here. This is not a music class, guys. This is a tennis class. So, Jeff, what are you going to talk about tonight?
Talk about, hyper focus. We get so focused in tennis will certainly grab you, right? That ball. So I want to talk about this because I feel like so many folks are getting a lot of information. And I apologize for the technology here, guys, but the Wi-Fi is not great. But basically, those folks who are doing TennisCon or just taking lessons and, integrating what you learn into practice and match play. Practice is one thing, matches are another. They're two different animals. And I want to just, clarify, help streamline people, all the data that people have in their head on what to do with their shots, how, whether it's mentally, technically, tactically, and sort of help simplify because we fall into traps, Pete. Overthinking is huge. It's kept me in business a very long time. Not knowing what to focus on between points, not having things to focus on. So the mind will run, it'll go to the score, obviously, in the future, but also all of the information we get, do this, do that, which thing to choose from. Do you fix your state, how you feel? Do you change your technique? How much technique should you think about? Anyway, there's a lot that happens, I know, in the brain. So I wanted to just clarify a little bit there.
Yeah, that's great. And I think you are right. I mean, tennis is one of those sports, first of all, where it can make you think a lot. It's very technical. It's not, I mean, I don't think it's like going out and kicking a soccer ball. You have to have some instruction. It's technical. It's physical. We've had a number of people during TennisCon say that tennis is the toughest sport. We had Dr. Mark Kovacs, who works with right now he's working with the Cleveland Cavaliers. He works with the Atlanta Braves. I mean, he works with all the sports. And he says that he thinks tennis, when it's kind of like being a decathlon athlete, right? So maybe you're not the fastest, maybe you're not the strongest, but you got to have a lot of different skills and you got to manage them all either. Like, look at Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman made a career out of playing defense and grabbing a rebound. You can't just hit a serve. You've got to be able to then hit a forehand, hit a backhand, have touch, have power, use your mind. So there is a lot of mind to it and a lot of physical. So, I mean, it's normal. And also, I think people who play tennis, they tend to be pretty bright. And so then we start overthinking. I mean, what do you think about that kind of thought?
Yeah, that is the biggest trap I feel like players fall into, is over-analyzing, one error, one double fault, going through maybe 2 or 3 different options to make the correction. There's times where we don't really need to correct. We tend to overcorrect. I want to give you a stat that's really important. As you know, Craig O'Shaughnessy, who I did a course with, getting tight recently on a match that I played and how to deal with tension. But he talked about, as many players know now, the 52%-ish, 53% that you need to win the match, right?
Yeah.
Also, that in any match you play that's competitive, you're probably going to lose at least 45% of the points. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's really important. So if you miss some forehands, backhands, double fault, expect that. When I go on the court, and I have an exhibition, as you know, in about 1 hour from now here at my local club, and I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to miss some forehands and backhands, and people are going to be watching, but I'm going to put them in the 45% bucket. I'm going to put them in that bucket and not get alarmed by them. So don't overcorrect. Have your very simple cues for each shot. This is matches now, right? Have a cue like staying down and through, or up on the serve, or forward on the returns. These themes are universal and they work for everybody, right? So taking tips from TennisCon, taking the data, picking 1 or 2 things and working on those, but also really condensing them to just one cue. It could be a visual even, which is better. Visualizing yourself going forward, or saying to yourself, loose, or you have the one new footwork pattern and you're gonna just do that. But it needs to be very simple, Pete. That's the key, and that's sort of how players need to work with the data, simplifying and prioritizing it a little bit, so they don't get overwhelmed. Yeah.
Yeah. So you talk about cues. Tell me maybe like your top 5 or the things you're always going to say in service games and then in return games. And do you have cues that you tell yourself when you're winning and when you're losing? And let me know if you can remember all that. If not, I can repeat some of those. I know it's going on you.
Great points. Question there. I mean, in terms of winning and losing, and I'll give you one example. I'm playing the number 1 player at the time in the 45s. He was number 1 in the world. It was the quarterfinals match. I hadn't played since the 35s, and I was up a set in 1-0. And at a match at UCLA when I was in college, the wheels came off. It sent me into this career, I think. But because I started overthinking, I got tired, etc. But in this match, I chose to I noticed that I was pulling up a little bit on my shots because I was protecting. So I said down and through. Jeff, down and through. And so I made sure that on each shot, I would stay down and through. And that helped me execute it, get me focused on one thing. It's not a thought. It's the feeling of stepping in down and through. It's not like you tell, a lot of players tell themselves, okay, do this or do that. But then when they're hitting the ball, they're back, they're in, fight or flight or just bracing. And a lot of players don't understand that feeling. But it's, you got to commit to it. So down and through is a cue, for example, that really worked. On the serve, knee bend, I made to fix my serve will be like getting that feeling of knee bend at the beginning of the motion. And it sets the chain, the kinetic chain for me. So I use that, the feeling of the legs going to the ball. I used to chase the toss a little bit, getting into the toss. And that was in a match that's not a great thing. It wasn't great for me. Mm-hmm. So winning, being, knowing that the tendency is to go ahead of yourself. So you're winning, you go to the finish line, you're thinking ahead, you have to catch that and come back to the present. So catching it is really key. Winning, you get excited about, what's going to happen, the outcome. You've got to come back and stick to your guns, but not protect. A lot of players protect their lead. You have to play on your terms, playing aggressively, staying down and through, finishing your shots, following through. Simple things, little things go a long way in matches. So, yeah.
Yeah, great stuff.
Yeah.
David says, do you visualize during a match like that story the other night about Raptor visualizing how he would serve, direction, spin right before he started his motion? Like, do you, we've mentioned a lot of physical cues, but are you seeing things play out?
So a couple things on that. So one, I will pick the target. I will see it in my, so if I'm coming up, walking to the line, it's 30-all. It doesn't really matter because I don't play the score that much at times. But walking to the line on a good day, on a good service day, I picture the spot very early and I'm decisive with that choice. Very important because we get indecisive. Being decisive, as I say, is being decisive and wrong is better than being indecisive and, quote, right. We tend to deliberate, and so decisive. Picture down the tee or out wide, slice, whatever you want to do. And then sometimes with that visual is a feeling of that going to the target. There's sort of a looseness there in my arm. I like to have a loose arm. Serving, you need a loose arm. And so I will make sure I kind of do a quick scan, if you will, of my arm to make sure I'm not like forcing it or, tensions creeped into my shoulder and starting to muscle the ball. So there's a little bit of an awareness, just kind of a check-in, a scan. It's like an x-ray, scanning the arm after I've picked the target, which is a visual.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Let's do this. Let's say I was about to play a match. I'm in the finals and you're my coach. And I just come to you and I say, man, I'm freaking out. Like I can barely breathe. I don't even feel my body right now. Like I don't even think I could swing. Like I just feel like my body's a rock. I've been like going to the restroom like every 5 minutes. Like I almost feel like I'm in hyperventilation mode. There's no way I'm going to be able to play like the way I want to play right now. I just know like it's over. Like how would you talk me off the ledge if I came to you like that right before a big match?
Right before the match?
Yeah, well, it's like a half hour before the match, and I'm just like, I'm waiting. It's the finals. It's just like, how it is. It's lots of times in the finals, which can make you almost more nervous. Like everybody's gone, like all the buzz is gone. It's just you and your opponent, maybe the other family, and you're just Like, oh my God, like it's the last thing. And I just feel like I'm about to freak out here. I just feel so tight. I just don't feel like I can go out there and perform. Have you ever had anybody tell you that before a match?
Yeah. So funny, a couple things. One, I remember many years ago, I was feeling that exact situation happened, and I had a friend with me, and I told him that I was just feeling nervous. I was just feeling like more than just nervous. I was sort of borderline panicking a little bit.
Yeah.
And he made a good comment. It stuck with me then. It was early days, and he said, "Jeff, your opponent may feel the same way, by the way." And it was just I was so caught in myself, so focused and self-conscious and absorbed. Because when we get tight, nervous, panicked, we go internal. We go within and we get captured. We're hostage to our brain, our reptilian brain, the fight, flight. We're caught, and our focus goes to the place it shouldn't be, which is internal. We need to get out of ourselves, forget ourselves. So one is that was sort of a perspective shift. Like, dude, the opponent's got some stuff going on too, by the way. And but what I would also say to a player, I would just try to help them, have some perspective and maybe make them laugh. Smiling, laughing, joking a little bit, it releases serotonin in our system. So smiling is truly an amazing technique when you're feeling really nervous. Okay. Mm-hmm. Instinctively. So body language really makes a difference when you carry yourself positively, when you smile. And I'll also, reiterate breathing, and I know people hear it all the time, and it's sort of a bit of a throwaway idea sometimes, but deep breathing is like a thermostat, on your wall. And if you practice it and do it properly, it works. But it doesn't, here's the thing, Pete, it doesn't happen right away. If you take 2 deep breaths, your nerves don't disappear. It takes about 10 minutes for the parasympathetic nervous system to start relax. It takes 10 minutes. So deep breathe, you're not trying to get rid of it, wish it was gone. You're accepting it. It is what it is. You're smiling a little bit, breathing, and I told you last year, I had almost a panic attack in the finals of the 45 Worlds in La Jolla on the front court, and I panicked. And my dad was there. He hadn't seen me play for 10 years, and I win the first set, and he goes, "You got this, Jeff!" And my heart started pounding. It was like a trigger. So I lost 4 games in like 5 minutes, and I went back, looked up at a palm tree, smiled, took a deep breath, and committed to my intention of following through on every shot.
That is great. Here's something, and you're extremely brave for doing, what you do. Like guys, you probably haven't really caught what he said. We're here, we're live right now at 9:30, and basically in an hour, he's going to be on the court. There's going to be 100 people there eating dinner, watching him play, and he's doing this live stream with us now. So one of my nervous memories was being director of the club at Almond Bay Athletic Club, which you know very well, that club, and the deck. The deck. And in a tournament, the deck can get quite full. And I was the director of the club. Now, for the most part, I played pretty well. But there was one thing that I would do when I got nervous, and it happened for about 6 months to a year. So much so that I thought, I hope this doesn't happen again today. Like, this is getting out of hand. And that would be, I would go to toss the ball, and the ball would just run away from me. It would just go. And I often would think, oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I'm giving lessons all day, and I can't even toss the damn ball. So do you feel, as somebody who's like going out there, do you ever get on the court and go, oh my God, like I am the mental guru here, and I'm out in front of everybody? Like, does that ever how do you kick that out of your head? Like, this is just a competition. You can't be thinking about being the expert and playing at the same time. Like, how do you deal with your reputation as like, Jeff's a great player. Jeff knows all about the mental game. Like, how do you kick that out? Like, it's got to enter into your mind sometimes, or does it not?
No, it's interesting. So full transparency, I feel so I think a pretty sensitive nervous system. So I feel adrenaline. I will feel adrenaline tonight. It's in my local club, and I'm playing the head pro, who's pretty good from Bangladesh, doesn't miss much. He's been talking it up, talking smack a bit, and but whether he or whatever match it is, and it's in front of a lot of people, not to mention, to your point, I mean, I'm supposed to not choke, right? I mean, the last thing I'm supposed to do in my profession is choke or to, double fault and have the wheels come off, right? So, I mean, clearly, having played for so many years, I'm used to feeling this feeling. Okay, I'm used to feeling the adrenaline, and it's not a little; it's a fair amount of adrenaline. Different contexts bring up different levels of adrenaline, but here's the biggest difference in my view is I could go down the rabbit hole and get caught and play safe because of it. I could let that thought and let the feeling take over very easily, right? And it's not pretty. If you give into that, and you're embarrassed and you're worried, to that degree, and I understand that. But accepting what is really crucial. And so there's sort of an acceptance of it. It is what it is. I can't wish it away. It's there. If it's there, it's there, right? And I'll lament later that I was that nervous, maybe. But like in the moment, it's like, what are you going to do now? And that's the question you need to always ask yourself. Okay, what now? Okay, what now? And at the end of the day, I mean, if I do know that if I double fault and choke, it's okay. Like, it's just okay. I mean, this comes back maybe to my work around gratitude and the book I wrote, The Best Tennis of Your Life, where I realized at 30, and I don't know what, Christopher Reeves was paralyzed. I don't know if you remember this, right?
Yeah, of course.
I remember just being very struck by Superman being paralyzed. I don't know. But I was playing tennis. I'm playing the Opens out here, and I began, or it just hit me that we're lucky to be nervous. I mean, we're lucky. I mean, to have 100 people out there, and I missed a forehand or double faulted twice in a row. Like, this is a luxury. That takes a lot of perspective, I realize, but I try to be practical and realistic. Like, I don't think these people give a crap after they're watching me play. They want to be entertained and they want to learn something. And to be honest with you, my ego is not on the line. I don't feel like it's on the line. I want them to enjoy and learn something. But after that set, I think they're going to go enjoy their meal and their drinks and hopefully inspired to not choke like I did, maybe. I mean, so I just have a perspective about it and I accept it. I don't fight it. And I'll tell you this lastly, Pete, because it's sort of what's driven me for so long, is that I just don't want to be a victim of the nerves. I don't want to, I could feel tight, but that doesn't mean I have to play tight. And that's a really big difference. Like, I could feel the adrenaline, still step in and have a pretty good crack on the ball, because that's what I want to do. That's how I feel good about myself. But playing safe and backing off does not feel good to me. And I almost rather lose and step in and hit the ball than win and play safe. And if you can answer that question, I think you're getting closer, moving the needle. Would you be willing to lose and have a match that you felt good about? And I think that's important. So
I think that's a great answer. We are almost at 100 people. Okay. So first of all, I just want to say, Friday night, you guys supporting us, focused, invest in your game. I really am super grateful. Just like Jeff said, super grateful. So we want to get over 100 though, because we are competitors. So share this, email your friends. Maribon, if you're out there, I want you to go make a TikTok dance video right now. Okay, so this is a good question. what is the difference between saying you're accepting the nerves and the tension and actually accepting it? Just saying the word sometimes doesn't do it. And we all know that to be 100% true. That's a great question, I think.
Yeah, action speaks louder than words, doesn't it? And I don't know. I mean, I could give you one example where I was aced 4 times in one game, first game of the match. And, it's sort of a choice that you make. So I totally get it because, and there's a very interesting quote by Rafter who said, I got tight and I told myself to relax, or I told myself to relax and I got tight, or maybe next year I'll tell myself to get tight and maybe I can relax, kind of thing. Like the body doesn't respond. So I understand, I appreciate the question. And so 2 things. One is you have to commit. The body has to sort of almost override the fear. So there's fear and the fight flight's kicked in. You're nervous, adrenaline. The body is instinctively backing off the ball because you don't want to miss. You're protecting against making a mistake, which is very short term. And Rod Laver did this. Apparently, Rod he cracked the ball. He was nervous. He just ripped the hell out of it, like 1 or 2 of them, So that's another thing, to just exaggerate and invest in yourself by cracking the ball, hitting through it. And if you miss if you miss long, but you missed it differently, miss it differently, but missing it the same way, playing the same way, playing safe and tentative, being in that vicious cycle, that insanity, right? And I played junior tennis. I didn't know this at the time. Junior tennis, college tennis, and 2 years on the pro tour, playing, I'd say well below my potential, my ability, because I got stuck in this comfort zone, this level of, certainly I played some good matches and had a few good wins, but my average level was too safe. And what I'm saying is I just think there's more room for committing to the shot. And that means accepting that you might miss too, investing in that shot, and allowing yourself a game or 2 to get it. Like, it's not going to happen right away. If you say, okay, be loose, you step in, you miss it, you don't stop. You stay with that because it matters to you. It matters to you to step in, to stay down and commit to your shots, to be decisive when you hit the ball. It just feels good. So actions do speak louder than words, definitely.
That is fantastic stuff. And I just want to add a couple things to that. One thing that Jeff talks about, and I was in one of his talks. I was in the back wall. Jeff probably didn't even know who I was at the time. And he was talking about when you're nervous, the importance of tapping in the physical cues besides, like, lots of times we're always like up here, be mental, breathe, say good things to yourself. But he gave one tip that was extremely valuable to me. And that was, when you feel tight, go with the tightness. Like, because normally when we're tight, like, oh my God, I'm so tight, like, relax. And then you're like, what's happened? You're still, right? But I love how you said, we just went over 100. Maribon must have done a TikTok video. Maribon, nice TikTok dance video. Anyway, you talk about, now, of course, hiding it, right? You kind of do it strategically. You talk about grabbing your racket, holding it tight for 10 seconds. I love this because then your body has no choice, once you give up the death grip, to actually relax. And I find that anything in life, like, it's like going on a date or whatever you do in life, the first couple of minutes are brutal, right? You're so nervous, job interview. But once you get in the flow, once you start to feel it, then you can get through it. And what I found when I went to go play, by doing this tip, which I've probably done myself in matches a couple 1,000 times now, that if I could just hit the first ball or 2 good, I was like, oh, we're home now. I can play the rest of the point. So always being able to start that point relaxed by tightening up. Your first couple of cracks are loose, and then lots of times you're like, oh, here we go. And then the rest of the point, you just are playing what you feel like is your tennis. So great tip.
Great. Yeah, Pete, and 2 things real quick on that. When we're tight, when we have adrenaline, when we're nervous, it's energy, right? It's energy. And when we try to block it, block the ball back, when we stiffen up because we're trying not to miss, God, we know we're tight. So it feels ludicrous to hit through the ball because, instinctively you want to just like fight and get the ball back in the damn court, hope for the best. Hope. What I'm talking about is intention, playing with intention, playing with purpose. But this point is about energy and releasing it, allowing the energy to come forward, through your hands. So specifically when you're making contact, you allow your body to release in your hand. And Pete, this comes back to the loose style. It's not all or nothing. When we get tight, we tend to think about we're tight, but we can work our way out of it, and we can work with it, and we want to channel that energy. And the tense release is a great exercise because now you're aware of what loose feels like, you're aware of what tight feels like, and you just reminded your body what loose feels like because you forgot for a little while. And that tense release is another really effective exercise used by Olympic athletes as well, quite often.
Yeah, that is one of the best tips I've ever heard. And I think it's things that also what I liked, we had a private session after I had a lesson with Rick Macy. And, if you watch the video, I thought I was hitting the ball well. I didn't think it was that bad. But Rick called me over and he said, right off the bat, I see 5 things. Number 1's relax, 2's relax, 3, 4, 5, relax. So then I went to you and I said, you got to teach me to relax. And so you talked about not only doing this, because we always want the fix in the matches, but guys, you got to do the work off the court too, in your practice. And you talk about going up the tension dial intentionally in your practice so that when you're in a match, because lots of times you're not even aware. I mean, so many times, I remember my roommate who we played doubles together. And he confessed to me like a year later, he's like, I don't like playing doubles with you because you have such an intense look on your face. I'm afraid to talk to you. And I was like, it shocked me. I'm like, what? Like, dude, like, I'm fine. He's like, you should see your face in a match. Like, you're scary. I'm like, I didn't even know that. So practicing, this kind of stuff. Walk people through how they can practice this kind of stuff when they go to the court and exercises they can do.
Sure. Let me, a couple of things on that. So coming back, I think it's good to come back to the practice, right? To prepare for matches. So one thing, for example, today, so I have La Jolla, the National 40 comes up at the end of November every year. We are having it, at least, as of now. And so I start training now, a bit. And I was hitting with a guy this morning, and I went up to the net. And I said, it's funny how loose I play before the tournament. Like, I play so loose intentionally because if you exaggerate the feeling and you know what it's like, and you're too loose. I'm like too loose this morning. I'm playing baseline games, and I mean it's just too loose. But when I get into a match, then tonight in 45 minutes or so, that feeling is available to me because I played like that. So again, being familiar with your with that level of looseness is really important. So you can literally almost visualize the feeling of being loose. So that's in practice. Do a little bit more, exaggerate it. And I want to say, relatedly, if you're changing a stroke, if whatever that serve, forehand, backhand, whatever it is, if you're changing something, we try to do the new thing. Like, we try to keep the racket head up, or get the ball earlier in front, or finish over the shoulder, right? Like these things that can help the shot, better backs, whatever you're working on. And what can really help, to your point, Pete, about awareness, is at some point here, let's say a few days or a week after tennis con's over, do it the wrong way and then do it the new way. Or let's say old way, your old forehand, new forehand. Old forehand, new forehand. Do that a few times. Because the contrast effect between what you used to do and what you're now trying to do, that feeling of it, it's very key because we tend to think too much. We're thinking about what to do. We're Rolodexing through. Those of you who are my age, we did a Rolodex, we didn't have phones, but Rolodex, thinking about maybe a couple different things. My point is, old way, new way, feel it. Feel the difference in the backswing. So that's just one tip I wanted to share today on this sort of all the data that people are getting from pros and from from TennisCon, and being aware of the difference. Okay. And then last point is, if you're drilling and you're in a clinic, and pick your 1 or 2 cues that you want to practice for that particular drill. Is it keeping your head still? Is it follow through? Is it your footwork, quick adjustment steps? What is it you want to emphasize for that 10 minutes, 15-minute drill? And feel it. Don't just think it, feel it. And when you're in line waiting to go in, visualize it. You're just standing waiting, looking around. I had this question yesterday from what should I do while I'm waiting to go in and do a drill and getting nervous, whatever. And to picture what that cue is that you're going to do and staying with it. So you're really chunking the information you're getting in very specific drills, and that way you're not overwhelmed and shooting yourself in the foot with too much at one time.
You know what a mess I am, Jeff? I'm starting to get nervous for you and your match. I'm looking at the clock going, this guy's going to go play a match in a half hour. So one thing I want to do before we leave, I want to make sure I get this right. Is it, guys, he's hooking you up tonight, okay, just by being on the live call, just by being here, okay? You can go, is it just going to Fearless Tennis? I can put the link in. Is it the website Fearless Tennis, or is there another link they have to go to get this?
To make it easy,
yes.
Folks can fearlesstennis.com. Fearlesstennis.com.
Fearlesstennis.com. And I'm putting that in the chat right there. Fearless Tennis. Look at this. Look at that. Jeff, how beautiful does that look? Can you see that?
Love it. And then there's a tab for courses. And if you go to courses, you can sign up for part 2 of my course with the code TennisCon Fearless, right? TennisCon Fearless. And with that code, you can sign in and you'll get access to part 2 of the Fearless Tennis online platinum course. So, which is like, I think 10 modules, including on court of how do you develop gratitude on the court, adjustments on the court, being looser, balancing intensity with looseness, and basically kind of helping you manage your states on the court. And so,
okay. So you see this? It's Fearless Tennis. Let me just walk them through this. It's fearlesstennis.com. Then you go to the courses tab. You can watch this replay a bunch of times too, guys. It's gonna be live. I mean, this will be a replay afterwards, so you can always just watch us over and over again. Then you go part 2 for free by typing in what again? What's the code word?
TennisCon Fearless.
TennisCon.
Just want to verify.
Fearless. Is it like this right here, or is it one word or any space, or does it matter?
Let me get you back here. Where'd you go?
I'm right here. I can see you.
Oh no, I am. Okay. So tennis, it should be one word.
All one word.
Yeah. All one word.
Yes. Okay. Actually, you know what? I can just copy and paste it right here. Oh my gosh, guys, this is going to be great. Watch this. And I'm going to walk you through the steps. I'm so proud of my little, I've come a long way with tech. Watch this, Jay. We're going to get it right here. Boom. That's what you do. So I'm going to walk you through all the steps, guys. You go to fearlesstennis.com. Then you go to the courses tab. Then you go to part 2 for free. Then you type in this. It doesn't get any more clear than that.
And when you go there, just be kind of, it's going to maybe say you need to pay, but you don't because you have the coupon code. So just put in that coupon, TennisCon Fearless, and you should be good to go. If for some reason something happens, please have folks email me. It's fine, jeff@mentaledge.net, and we'll make sure you get that course. I want to make sure you get that. And sign up for my newsletter on my homepage if you like to get weekly newsletters on topics that that we've been talking about each week. So go ahead and put your email in there, and I think folks are good to go on that.
That is awesome. We talked about coming on for 45 minutes. I'm telling you, it flies. So Jeff, we're just going to kind of wrap things up. Maybe we'll take a question or two. But also, I just want to remind people tomorrow. So I'm putting in, this is also Jeff's special link that I'm putting in to get a lifetime access pass to TennisCon 4. So again, it's this bit.ly link I just put in there. If you go to that link, that's right now in the chat, you can get TennisCon 4. I have 4 big bonuses there. You can read all about it. It's like stuff from Newcomb's Ranch with like Rod Laver, John Newcomb. It's amazing. I got 30 power secret tips that you guys can get, 1 to 2 minute videos that instantly adds power. These are things that have been proven to work since I've been teaching since I've been 18 years old. And now I'm 24. So it's been a long time. Turned 48. So I've been teaching a long time. These are tips that have worked over and over again. You're going to get my top 10 live streams as well as these 40 plus lessons from TennisCon, which have been really amazing. I mean, this year has been our best year with content. So go there. And tomorrow is going to be Super Saturday. Jeff, you remember Super Saturday? Okay. I interviewed this lady, Ryan. She's younger. And I asked her what Super Saturday was. She didn't know. Do you know what Super Saturday was?
I'm going to be 0 for 2. You're not setting me up for my exhibition. 0 for 10. Super Saturday. No, I don't know.
Super Saturday, 1984, U.S. Open. It was an epic day. We had Martina played Chrissy. They went 3 sets, battled it out. It was amazing. Pat Rafter played Ivan Lendl, 5-set battle. Pat Cash had Matt points. Lendl pulled it out in the 5th set. John McEnroe played a night match against Jimmy Connors, the 2 bad boys of tennis, 5 sets. And Mac came out, and then Mac destroyed Lendl. It was the last time Mac really handed Lendl his lunch. It was 1984, one of the best years ever in tennis as far as like a performance. McEnroe was like 83-3. So
was that before he lost? He was up 5-2 in the 5th. I know he was up.
He was up 2 sets at the French Open, and he lost.
Was it before? Did he beat Lendl after that? You're saying on Super Saturday?
Yeah, that's right. He got his revenge against Lendl at the U.S. Open. He blew the French Open. If he would have won the French Open, oh my God, what a year that would have been. It's still a great year. He went 83-3. But anyway, why I'm going on that Super Saturday theme is tomorrow we have our own Super Saturday at TennisCon 4. Starting at 12:30, we got Jorge Capistani. He's a USPTA and PTR Master Pro. He's amazing. He's going to be talking about his best drills for the 5 situations of tennis. Then at 2 p.m., we're going to have Tennis Express on. They're going to help you match and understand what's the perfect racket with the perfect strings according to different styles of play. It's going to be pretty interesting. I'm looking forward to that because I don't know a lot about tech. Then at 4 o'clock, we're going to go live with Jeff Saldenstein, the legend, and we're going to be talking about more mindset stuff, okay? Championship mindset, getting your mind right for matches. Then at 5:15, we're going to have Gigi Fernandez, 17 Grand Slam title holder, Gigi Fernandez. And then at 8:15, we're going to have closing ceremonies with Maribon Aranshad, my buddy from the Tennis Files, the Tennis Summit, and we're going to play another round of Grand Slam trivia as well as give you guys a lesson, but we're going to give away another Tennis Express gift card. Jeff, you've been amazing. I don't want to lollygag here because I want you to go out and kick that guy's butt. Whoever you're playing tonight, I want you to put the beat down on him, and I want to report back that you did some smacking. Just I'm Jeff Greenwald.
Right, Pete? Yeah.
No pressure.
No pressure. It's all good. If whatever happens, happens. But I will be focused, hopefully, on the right things at the right time and accept what comes. So I'm grateful for the opportunity. But to be here with you and everybody, thanks for joining us. And look forward to the next time too. So thank you, Pete. All good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Jeff. That was amazing. Good luck tonight. We appreciate you, man. This is amazing that you came out and did this right before a match.
Absolutely. Anytime, Pete. Have a good one. Congrats on the tennis con. Talk soon.
Thank you. Take care.